Minutes, so make it fast. Do a bridge version, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Just sing it fast.
All right.
No, don't do that. All right, this is John. You saw him earlier.
Hi, everybody.
And this is Luella. And this has kind of become our pre-Thanksgiving tradition here. And take it away, John.
Oh gosh, here we go.
All right. Yeah, Luella and I first played this song 2022. So this is the third time we've done it, and we come out the Thursday before Thanksgiving for the last 3 years. Sorry, not going to sing this out yet. Yet is the key word.
So that's what
All right, are you guys ready for a little Alice's restaurant?
Yeah!
'Tis the season, right?
you know this.
Oh my God.
Here we are again.
Bernice's restaurant.
Yeah. All right, let me get. This is gonna be a long strum, so. Better get comfortable.
You're gonna get a lot of spit on your hands again.
This song is called Alice's Restaurant.
Gosh, I gotta play it. I have
It's
to.
about Alice.
This is
and the
my
restaurant.
favorite song.
But Alice's Restaurant is not the name of the restaurant, it's just the name of the song. So I called the song Alice's Restaurant.
Am I doing it?
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
Now it all started 2 Thanksgivings ago. It was 2 years ago on Thanksgiving when my friend and I went up to visit Alice at the restaurant. But Alice doesn't live in the restaurant. You see, she lives in the church nearby the restaurant in the bell tower with her husband Ray and Basha the dog. And living in the bell tower like that, they got a lot of room downstairs where the pews used to be. Having all that room, being as they took out the pews, they decided they didn't have to take out the garbage for a long time. We got up there, found the garbage down there, and decided it would be a friendly gesture to take the garbage to the city dump. So we took the half a ton of garbage, put it in the back of a red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction, and headed on down to the city dump. Got there, and there was a big sign and a chain across the dump saying closed on Thanksgiving. We had never heard of a dump being closed on Thanksgiving, and with tears in our eyes, we drove off into the sunset, looking for another place to put the garbage. We didn't find one, so we came to the side road, and off the side of the side road was another 15-foot cliff, and at the bottom of the cliff there was another pile of garbage. We decided that one big pile was better than 2 small ones. Rather than bring that one up, we decided to throw ours down, which is what we did. We drove back to the church, had a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, went to sleep, didn't get up till the next morning when we got a phone call from Officer Obi. Obi said, "Kid, we found your name on an envelope at the bottom of a half a ton of garbage. Just wondered if you had any information about it." I said, "Yes, sir, Officer Obi, I cannot tell a lie. I put that envelope under that garbage pile." After speaking to Obi on the telephone for about 45 minutes, we finally arrived at the truth of the matter. And Obi said we had to come down and pick up the garbage. Also had to go down and speak to him at the police officer station. So we got in the back of the red VW microbus. We took shovels, rakes, and implements of destruction and gone down to the police officer station. Now, friends, there was only one or two things that Obie could have done at the station there. The first was he could have given us a medal for being so brave and honest on the telephone, which wasn't very likely and we didn't expect it. And the second was he could have bawled us out and tell us never to be seen running garbage around the vicinity again, which is what we expected. But when we got to the police officer station, there was in fact a third possibility that we had not counted upon, and we were both immediately arrested. Handcuffed. I said, Obie, I don't think I can pick up the garbage with these handcuffs on. He said, shut up, kid. Get in the back of the police car. So we did, got in the back of the police car and drove to the, quote, scene of the crime, unquote. I want to tell you about the town of Stockbridge, Massachusetts, where this happened there. They got 5 stop signs, 3 police officers, 2 police cars. But when we got to the, quote, scene of the crime, there were 6 police officers and 4 police cars, this being the biggest crime of the last 50 years, and everybody wanted to get in a newspaper article about it. They was using up all kinds of cop equipment they had laying around the police officer station. They were taking plaster tire, track dogs, sniffing prints. They took 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us. They took pictures of the approach, the getaway, the northwest corner, the southwest corner. That's not to mention the aerial photography. After the ordeal, we went back to the jail. Obie said, I'm going to put you in the cell. He said, kid, I'm going to put you in the cell. I want your wallet and your belt. I said, Obie, I can understand you want my wallet, so I don't have any money to spend in the cell. What do you want my belt for? I said, kid, we don't want any hangings. I said, Obie, you think I was going to hang myself for littering? Obie was making sure, and friends Obie was, because he took out the toilet seat so I couldn't hit myself over the head and drown. And he took out the toilet paper so I couldn't bend the bars, pull the roll down the window, slide down the roll, and have it escape.
Should have kept it going.
It was about 4 or 5 hours later that Alice, you remember Alice?
Oh gosh,
It's a song about Alice.
Yeah.
Alice came by with a few nasty words for Obie on the side. She bailed us out of jail. We went back to the church, had another Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, went to sleep, didn't get up until the next morning when we all had to go to court. Went down there, walked in, sat down. Obie walked in, he sat down with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one. Man came in, said, all rise. We stood up, Obie stood up, with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back. Judge walked in with the C&I dog. He sat down, we sat down, and Obie looked at the C&I dog, and then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures, and then at the C&I dog, and then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures, and he began to cry because he realized it was a typical case of blind American justice and there was nothing he could do to stop it. And the judge wasn't going to look at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows, a paragraph on the back of each one explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us. And we was fined $50 and had to pick up the garbage in the snow. But that's not what I came to talk about. Came to talk about the draft. We got a building down in New York City. It's called Whitehall Street. When you walk in, sit down, you get injected, inspected, detected, neglected, and selected. I went down there one morning to get my physical examination. Walked in, sat down. I got good drunk the night before, so I looked and felt my very best that morning. Because I wanted to look like the all-American kid from New York City. I mean, I wanted to feel like the all-American kid from New York City. I walked in, sat down, I was hung down, drugged down, and all kinds of meat nasty stuff. I walked in, sat down, man came up, gave me a piece of paper. He said, kid, see the psychiatrist, room 604. So I went up there. I said, shrink, I want to kill. I mean kill. I want to have blood and gore and guts and veins in my teeth. Eat dead, burnt bodies. I mean kill. Kill. And I started jumping up and down, yelling, kill, kill. And he started jumping up and down with me, yelling, kill, kill. We were both jumping up and down, yelling, kill, kill. Sergeant came up to me, pinned the medal on my chest, said, son, you're our boy. Sent me down the hall. Didn't feel too good about that, but I continued on down the hall, getting more injections, inspections, defects. I was there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I was there for a long time, and I was hung down, drunk down, just wasn't having a good time down there. You see, they was injecting, inspecting every part of my body, and they was leaving no part untouched. But I continued on down the hallway there, walking down, and all kinds of mean, nasty things, until I finally came up to the very last man. And after a whole big thing, I said, what do you want? He said, kid, we only got one question. Have you ever been to court? I said, what do you mean, man? Have you ever been arrested? And I proceeded to tell him the story of the Alice's Restaurant Massacre in full orchestration and 5-part harmony, just like it was. He said, stop right there, kid. Have you ever been to court? I proceeded to tell him the story of the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures, the circles and arrows and the paragraph on the back page. Well, he said, stop right there. I said, kid, I want you to go down there and sit there on that bench that says Group W. Now, kid. So I went over to the bench there to see Group W's where they put you if you may not be moral enough to serve in the Army after committing your special crime. And there was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly people sitting there on the bench. Mother rapers, father stabbers, father rapers sitting there on the bench. They were mean and nasty and ugly and horrible. And the meanest, nastiest one, the meanest father raper of them all, he was coming over to me, sitting next to me on the bench. He came down, sitting next to me on the bench. He said, kid, what'd you get? I said, I didn't get nothing. I had to pay $50 and pick up the garbage in the snow. He says, what were you arrested for, kid? I said, littering. And they all moved away from me on the bench there and they hit their eyeballs until I said they created a nuisance. And they all came back to me on the bench and shook my hand, and we were having a good old time talking about crime and mother raping and father shaking. We were smoking cigarettes there on the bench having a good old time. Sergeant came over. He had a piece of paper in his hand. He said, kids, this piece of paper's got 37 words, 47 sentences. We want to know the arresting officer's name, we and details of the crime. Anything else you want to say about that? He talked for 45 minutes. Nobody understood the word he said, but we had fun filling out the forms and playing with the pencils there on the bench. And I filled out the massacre just like it was there, 4-part harmony, full orchestration. Put down my pencil, turned over the paper, and there on the other side, in the middle of the other side, far away from everything else, in parentheses, quoted, capital letters, read the following words. Kids, have you rehabilitated yourself? I went up to the sergeant and I said, Sergeant, you got a lot of goddamn calls asking me if I've rehabilitated myself. I mean, I'm sitting here on the bench. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench. You want to know if I'm moral enough to join the Army and burn women, children, houses, and villages after being a litter bug. He said, kid, we don't like your kind, and we're going to send your fingerprints off to Washington. Oh, friends, somewhere in Washington, they enshrined in some little folder is a study in black and white, my fingertip. And the only reason I'm singing you this song today is because you may know somebody in a similar situation, or you may be in a similar situation. And if you find yourself, Barley, in a similar situation, there's only one thing you can do. That's walk into the shrink wherever you are. Walk in and say, shrink, you can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. And walk out. And if one person does it, they may think he's sick and they won't take him. And if two people do it in harmony, they may think they're both weirdos and they won't take either of them. And three people, can you imagine three people walking in and singing a bar at Alice's restaurant and walking out? They may think it's an organization. And can you imagine 50 people a day walking in and singing a bar at Alice's restaurant and walking out? They may think it's a movement. And friends, that's what it is. The Alice's Restaurant Anti-Massacre Movement. And all you got to do is join, is sing it with us the next time it comes around on a guitar. With feeling. So we'll wait for it to come around on the guitar and we'll sing it when it does.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
That was horrible.
Thanks a lot.
If you want it in war and stuff, you got to sing loud. We've been up here playing for 25 minutes. We could play for another 25 minutes. We're not
I gotta pour
proud.
another glass.
We're tired. So let's wait for it to come around the guitar and sing it again when it does. This time for part harmony and feeling.
All right, let's do it.
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Alice's restaurant.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right, how about that? I can't remember songs I wrote. John's talked for 25 minutes, word for word. All right, we're going to send up Dr. Jack. Hang on, we'll be right back. That was great. Okay, that was John, and that was Luella. Luella playing the same chords for 25 minutes. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you. I can get another one.
Talk to Laura for a minute. Save my seat.
Okay, that was awesome. He's Dr. We still have to do our Dr. Jack. I know. Well, I tried 2 times. Well, John goes to Austin, Texas again in a little while. So we should do it then, because he wouldn't enjoy listening to that.
I don't know if we're still live or what.
Still live?
Be careful what I say.
Yeah.
I need to turn this thing off. So I can out of